How's it going, comic book community? Joe here with another episode of 360 Comics. Over the weekend, I took the trip up to Lambertville, New Jersey to attend the Golden Nugget Flea Market, and let me tell you, I struck some comic gold there. Congratulations to Nelvis Eats for winning our 1,500 subscriber giveaway here on YouTube, and it is my pleasure to now announce our next giveaway, our 7,000 Instagram follower giveaway. I'm giving away this newsstand copy of Batman 429, the final book of the Death in the Family run with this incredible Joker cover. If you want to win this, go follow on Instagram and look out for the post I'll be posting in the next few days describing how to enter. Despite never having attended the event myself, I had heard some really positive things about the Golden Nugget Flea Market and how there were often comics there, and not just comics, but comics dating back to the Silver Age. So I really wanted to check it out. I hit up James from Mint Hunter Comics, who lives right nearby, and we made plans to meet up there bright and early at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday to check out what they got. Let's see what happened. All right, Golden Nugget Flea Market. Never been here before. Gonna check it out. I know there's gonna be one guy set up with comics because he posted about it on Instagram. But we will see if there's anyone else, and we'll see if we can make some deals. Possibly pick some stuff up and take it home. My first stop of the day was at the booth of a guy named Sicilian Comics, and he was the one who posted on Instagram and let me know that he was going to be at this event. And really the reason that I decided to come up there because he had some great books online. I figured he'd have some great ones in person. As you can see, it is mostly Silver and Bronze Age stuff. There are some key issues, some filler issues. Check out that Silver Surfer 2. And man, this Detective Comics from the 1950s, a 10-center from the early Silver Age. And it was in pretty gosh darn nice shape. I was definitely tempted on that one. James has arrived, fashionably late, but
what's up, dudes?
He's here. Going through some... Ooh, look at that. Second appearance of Ra's al Ghul.
I always love those colors.
It's a nice cover.
Yeah.
Sicilian Comics had his prices set right around market value, but was willing to negotiate and make a deal, especially if you bundled a bunch of books together. That's what I like to see in a comic book dealer, and I did just that. I got 5 books from him for exactly $100, and I think I got a really great deal. First up is this Incredible Hulk 234, the first appearance of Quasar, or rather, the issue where Marvel Boy becomes Quasar, and this has been a pretty nice speculation book for the MCU. A lot of people think that this character will show up in some capacity at some point, and I'm definitely on board with that. Even if he doesn't, it's still a pretty solid Bronze Age key to pick up. And next was some more Bronze Age stuff that I really, really like getting into, the Bronze Age horror stuff. We've got Dracula number 16, Tomb of Dracula, rather. This is the first appearance of Dr. Sun, supporting character, and it's got this great cover that I always feel like is kind of an homage to Tomb of Dracula number 1. It's a very similar depiction, and I'm not actually sure if it's supposed to be an homage or if it's just a similar cover. Either way, a great key that I did not have in my personal collection yet, and you know, I love the Bronze Age horror stuff. If you've been watching this channel, I talk about it a lot. Another Tomb of Dracula book here, this one with a purple cover, and I love the purple covers. Not only that, but it's got a Blade cover appearance. That character is 100% coming to the MCU. We heard him. We didn't see him yet, but we heard him. We're going to be seeing him soon, and I'm excited for that. Again, another book I didn't have for my personal collection, and it's a pretty nice high-grade copy for a book from the late 70s. Then we got a recent book that I've talked about as a speculation. I think this book is criminally undervalued. Fantastic Four 209, the first appearance of Herbie the Robot. You see him right on the cover as well. And I'm always picking up this book if I can get it for like $5 or less. He had it marked at $5, and like I said, I did a bundle deal and got a great a great price on this stuff. Now, the last book, this is definitely the big hit. And honestly, if I had left after purchasing this little bundle, I would have been happy just because of this book alone. This is House of Mystery, number 179. Not only does it have a beautiful Neil Adams cover, but this is the first ever comic work by Bernie Wrightson. He did the interior art, not the cover, but the interior art, his first work at DC Comics. Fantastic stuff. Bernie Wrightson, just an absolute artistic staple of the Bronze Age, especially horror, Swamp Thing, and then it's got a Neil Adams cover to boot. That is just a double whammy of incredible artists from this era of comics. And this was marked pretty low, and it does not have any key significance written on it. I'm not sure. Maybe he wasn't aware that this was Wrightson's first artwork, but this is a nice mid-grade copy and really, really got me excited about picking up any of these books. And like I said, I paid $100 for all of these. I'm pretty sure they kind of have a value of about $180 total. I think, if I remember correctly, the sticker price on these books were $165, I think. So he gave me a nice discount in addition to already being, real fair on the prices. So, like I said, market value, kind of high market value, $180, and I only paid $100. I'm happy with that. Let's move on to the next dealer. There was an indoor section of this flea market which had a bunch of different stalls that people regularly sold from, and one guy had a box of mostly 90s comics for $2 a piece. I haggled a little bit and got 7 comic books for $10, so I paid a little over $1 a piece on them, and I got some pretty cool stuff, first of which is Web of Spider-Man number 90 with this foil cover. And this book is in really nice shape. You got to look out because this foil gets scratches on it really easily. Any foil cover can, but this one especially, I found that the ones with the big foil placards like this really get the worst kind of scratching really easily. So got to look out for that. This one, nice high grade copy of that, and I'm very excited to announce these next couple books because I will always pick these up if I can get them for $1 or $2. Any book in the Maximum Carnage run, I think, is worth getting for that much. Really, they have a minimum value of between $5 and $10. This one is Spider-Man number 35. Yeah, 35, which is book 4 of the Maximum Carnage run. Then we got book 8 of the Maximum Carnage run, which is Spider-Man number 36. Don't forget, Maximum Carnage did span all the Spider-Man titles, so it jumps around from book to book. After that, we've got Web of Spider-Man 103, part 10, of the Maximum Carnage run, and that was the last Maximum Carnage run book, unfortunately, but like I said, at $1 or $2 a piece, these are always worth it. Great stuff, a classic storyline. Then we've got Wolverine Origins. There was only this book for some reason, book number 2 of 6, but in my opinion, this book is the best cover, with the claws coming out of the hand, just a really intense cover, and it really signifies the character. In fact, if you look at the other 5 covers, the average person isn't going to be able to tell this is a Wolverine story, but this one really does show that. So, in my opinion, it is the best cover of those 6 books, and for $1 or $2, can't pass this up. Then we got some books that have been on the hot list recently. Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 1, the first book of this run. Obviously, we've got news that Warlock has been cast. Filming, I believe, has started for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm excited for it. The character is a really cool one. Will Poulter's a great actor, and I think they're going to do really awesome things. I think he's going to stick around in the MCU for a long time. Now, even better than this issue number 1 is issue number 2. Why, you ask? Well, this is the first full team appearance of the Infinity Watch. It's actually, more of a key than the number 1. A lot of people jumped right on the number 1, not realizing that this book is actually the first appearance, and it's a nice cover appearance as well. I think over time, they're kind of around the same value now, maybe about $10 a piece, but I think over time, it's going to kind of sway in favor of this book. But number 1, of course, will still hold value, especially if they take parts of this story and use them in the MCU. That being said, I paid $10 on this pile of books right here. Honestly, I think they have a high market value of like $50. This was definitely my biggest return on investment, but it's my smallest investment. Only $10 went to this stuff, but I'm able to multiply my money a lot higher. And that is usually the case with buying lower value things as opposed to the higher value books, a lot smaller possible profit margin. Before we get to our last dealer and the best book of the day, which of course I'm saving for last, let's check in with James and see what he got.
Yeah, I drawings and change that ugly art.
Down the canal there. Well, you know stripers. I got
What'd you get there, James?
Dude, for the fiance, I got some like $5.
Ooh, knickknacks.
Knickknacks, man,
I like it.
and some good comics.
Eclectic. Let's see the comics you got.
I'll just show you the one on top,
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I was so jealous when you pulled that out of there.
and that one.
And that one. But mainly for Psylocke.
Yeah, well, might as well show you. Here,
What's the rest?
that one's just for me.
Some cheapies. That's a good one.
Yeah. But those were $1 each. These were even with the pots, I'm under $20.
Sweet.
That is pretty good, actually.
Whew. I am still a little bit jealous of that first Psylocke, but hey, nonetheless, I cannot complain given this last group of books that I picked up. I had to do some haggling. It took some work. I had to talk to 2 different guys, and we eventually came to a price that I was happy with. I paid $200 for a nice stack of, I don't know, about 25 books or so. You're going to see them all right now, including one major Silver Age key. Of course, that one's last. Let's take a look. We got X-Men number 56 right here. Awesome cover, Silver Age X-Men. It is low grade, but this book's just going to stay in my personal collection. I don't have this one. At least I don't think I do. Got to do a little check on my X-Men stuff. Same with this next book here. This is X-Men 62, again from the Silver Age, that original 1 through 66 run. And this one features the first appearance of the Savage Land Mutates, which, if they ever go to the Savage Land, definitely would be a cool storyline in the MCU. I think it could happen. Definitely very reminiscent of the television show, the X-Men animated series when I was a kid. This one is even lower grade than the first book, but nonetheless, it is still a great pickup from the Silver Age. Then we're going into those Bronze Age X-Men reprints. Remember, issue 67 all the way to 93, those were reprinted X-Men stories from the first 66. They kind of were on hiatus from writing new stories, and then once they did Giant Size X-Men 1, Chris Claremont kicked it back off, making X-Men the most popular thing on Earth. Anyway, we got X-Men 76 here. This reprints the first appearance of Banshee. We got Banshee on the cover here. This one, unfortunately, the cover is detached, but nonetheless, definitely holds some value still. Probably goes from being like a $25, $30 book down to like a $5, $10 book with the cover detached, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Same with this, 79, first appearance of Cobalt Man. Again, a reprint of that story, not the original one, but with new cover art. Really cool that they did new cover art for these books because some of them are pretty good. In fact, I think that both of those that I've shown so far are better than the original cover art, especially because Banshee on the cover of X-Men, 20-something, does not look anything like Banshee. But I digress. Moving on to some Claremont stuff, really early Claremont. We've got X-Men 97, couple first appearances in here, but just an early double digits X-Men book from the Claremont run. He started at 94, so this was only the fourth book, which means it's the fifth appearance of Nightcrawler, fifth appearance of Storm, fifth appearance of Colossus, and sixth full appearance of Wolverine. So early stuff there. Covers faded, low grade, but all good. Still love to have this book. Then we got Uncanny X-Men 139. Kitty Pryde joins the X-Men. And this guy right here obviously is very faded. The color, I guess it was probably like displayed at one point. The color's not great on it. But nonetheless, it's a key issue. It's an important one. A Kitty Pryde book. Here's another Kitty Pryde cover, 143 here. the Merry Christmas issue. That's what I always call this because it says it at the top, and we got a Christmas tree in the background. But yeah, the great key issue here we got from X-Men. And then there was some more in this like middle section of the Claremont run, the mid 100s, 144. There's 146 with this. I love this cover. I think this cover is phenomenal. And then we got 148. This is the first appearance of Caliban. Some minor keys in here. 149, which I believe this is the part of the Magneto origin story. And then this is also part of the Magneto origin story. We got a Magneto cover as well. Can't complain about that. 151, Kitty Pryde leaves the X-Men. And there was actually a nice big chunk in here. 153. And all of these are decently high grade at this point. The early stuff was definitely low grade. We got 154. 156. This next one's a pretty nice key to have. We got 160. First appearance of Magic as an adolescent, as, using the name Magic. I believe this was the first time they used that name. I'm going to take these down so they don't fall. And go on to the next book. This is, if I remember correctly, an origin story of the Summers family. Cyclops, Havoc, Corsair. I'm pretty sure that is what this is. I forget. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Leave in the comments below if you know what this is. I know it's a key, but nonetheless. Then we got Trial of Magneto issue number 200, a double-sized anniversary issue, all that stuff. We've got Uncanny X-Men 212, a book that I think is extremely undervalued. The first battle between Wolverine and Sabretooth. Why is this book not worth more? I don't know. It's got a bunch of spine ticks, unfortunately, not super high grade. And the very next issue, which not only features Wolverine, but Sabretooth as well. One of my favorite covers of all time. X-Men 213. Also, my birthday, 213. Then we're hopping up to another Wolverine Sabretooth cover, X-Men 222, classic battle between these two, classic battle between the X-Men and the Marauders, and great cover. Awesome stuff from the Claremont run. It seemed like this person, whoever had this collection originally, was buying keys. There's certainly a couple more of them. This is the last of the X-Men book before we move on, but don't worry. There's a big X-Men Silver Age key at the end. We're going to get to that one. X-Men 283, the first full appearance of Bishop, one that I'm always picking up, speculating on that character. We got X-Force number 1, the first book of the X-Force run. Not a very expensive book, a newsstand, but it's got some spine ticks, not super high grade. X-Force 10 next, part of the 25th anniversary edition of Marvel Comics, celebrating 25 years since Fantastic Four 1. Then next we got X Factor number 15, Angel Loses His Wings, another really great cover from the 80s. Jumping all the way up to X Factor 92, a big skip in this run here, not sure why, but first appearance of Exodus, a book I'm speculating on a little bit. Whenever I can pick them up for real cheap, I do so. And then we're on to some New Mutants, starting off with number 1. Their first comic book appearance. They did appear in a graphic novel first, but I think this book is undervalued for sure. Then we're moving up to number 26, first appearance of Legion, the son of Professor X. I think this book, again, is an underrated key. And then we got, of course, New Mutants 87, first appearance of Cable. And guess what? Boom! A second copy of that as well. I'm going to take these down. Keep going with some New Mutants. We got number 99, Sunspot leaves, as well as first appearance of Shatterstar. I think this is a pretty underrated book. It's hard to get in that 9.8 because of that white cover. So I've seen 9.6s like everywhere, but I'd never see 9.8s of this. It's a pretty hard one to find. I'm going to actually have to check the census on that. Then we got the very next issue, number 100, the final issue of New Mutants and first appearance of X Factor before they were given their own run. Not only the first printing, but the second printing as well. And the third printing is just like this one, but has silver. It wasn't in there, but first and second printing, They go for about $10 a pop. Then we got all new Wolverine #1. This is the first appearance of Laura Kinney as Wolverine, and I don't have to say it. This cover is phenomenal. Looks great. It's got Laura Kinney right on the front there with the cool perspective, the blades coming at you. Can't complain about that. Then we got ASM Volume 3, #1. First appearance in cameo of Cindy Moon, who becomes Silk. And then we've got X-Men vs. Teen Titans. One-shot crossover between Marvel and DC. And there's one more book. One more big one. Like I said, a Silver Age major key, X-Men related. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a couple seconds. Hint, Neil Adams. If you know what Neil Adams worked on in this run, you probably figured it out already. We got X-Men 58, later part of the Silver Age run, just before the cancellation of new issues, the introduction of a new character called Havoc. Now, Alex Summers had appeared already just as himself, but had not appeared as Havoc yet. This book holds significantly more value than Alex Summers' first appearance, but makes sense because Havoc as a character is the important part of that. This is the brother of Cyclops, and this is an amazing Neil Adams cover. Not only that, I think it's way ahead of its time. For being from like 1969, maybe 68, I forget exactly what year, late Silver Age. This cover does not look like it's that old. Like, this looks like a cover that came out in the 80s, a decade and a half later. But it came out in the late 60s. Neil Adams was way ahead of his time. That's why he's one of the best of all time. This copy is in pretty nice shape. It's not high grade by any means, but a solid mid grade. I personally think I got a great deal on this. Like I said, I paid $200 for all of the books that I just showed you from this dealer. And this book alone is definitely worth over $100, maybe even close, depending on what the grade really looks like and stuff like that. Maybe even close to the full $200. I think as a high market value, I think probably this stuff could reach like $600 from just this dealer. So if you're calculating everything up, I said $180 from the first dealer. I said $50 from the second, and up to $600 from the third. So we got $830. $830 worth of stuff. I paid $310, and that $830 is optimistic. That is like high market. Obviously, like I always say, you're not going to get that much out of it. So instead of $830, let's say we drop it down to a nice healthy $620, knock off $210 from that. That's still a double up right there. Even, coming down that much, I honestly think I'll get more, a lot of the stuff I'm not selling, like this book right here, staying in the personal collection. I got a couple copies already, but you can't have too many first appearance of Havocs. Like I said, I think kind of at a total value, at least $600, between $600 and $700 somewhere, should be able to get. So a nice double up at least of my money. But again, this guy's staying in the personal collection, as is, where is it? This book right here. First, Bernie Wrightson art in comics, interior art, Neil Adams cover, another Neil Adams cover. I had a Neil Adams day. It was fantastic. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely will do more of these flea market videos if you guys like these. So leave a comment down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up for a like. Let me know how I did. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of content. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.